Hello everyone, this is Chantel from Gluten-Free Cooking 123.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make gluten-free sourdough pizza. So today I have Gabriel with me, and he's going to help me make the sourdough pizza.
I love pizza.
You do?
Yeah.
Which pizza do you like more? Do you like the sourdough pizza or the regular pizza dough? Which one do you like more?
I can't really tell.
You can't tell?
They're just both delicious. At the end of the video, can we show them the baby?
I don't know, maybe. Okay, so first thing we need to do is to feed our sourdough. So my sourdough is made with brown rice and potato starch, and that's what we're going to add to it right now. I also add raw honey to my sourdough. Now this is a controversy because most people would tell you to not add any sugar to your sourdough. For me, I found that adding honey helps with the sourdough. We live in a cold climate, and it was really difficult for me to make a sourdough starter without the help of honey. Even the wheat sourdough was struggling without the honey. So that's what we're going to do. If you don't want to add the honey to your sourdough, that's totally fine. I also have a video about the sourdough starters and how I do it. I'll link it for you in the iCards and also in the description box below, so that you guys can see how I make my sourdough starter. If you don't have a sourdough starter, you can follow the instructions on my sourdough starter video, and you also can go to my blog and see how to do it there. I will put all the links for you guys down in the description box below. Alright, don't eat the sourdough.
Bubbles.
Okay, so the first thing I do is to add half a cup of brown rice flour. I can't talk right now. Okay, so Gabriel, why don't you add half a cup of brown rice flour?
I love fish pies.
And we always use the Anthony's products. If you guys are interested in their products, I will put the link, my affiliate link, down also in the description box below, and you can buy through that link. I love their products, and if I didn't, I wouldn't be sharing that with you guys.
I added all the way up.
Okay, you added half a cup?
Yeah, I added
Good job.
it all the way up to here. Then I scraped them off. And everybody knows you shouldn't feed it too much, or else it might grow into your house. It might fill up your house. It seems really weird, but this stuff is like alien food that will take over the planet.
It is? Okay. Now we need a quarter cup of potato starch. Go ahead, Gabriel. You're a pro at this, huh?
I like cooking.
The next thing we are going to add is honey, the raw honey. I like using raw honey because it has all the good stuff in it. So we need 2 teaspoons of raw honey. I don't measure, I just kind of eyeball it. There we go. And then water. For the water, it varies how much you need to add water to your sourdough starter. So the amount of water that you need to add to your sourdough is going to vary, of course, depending on how runny your sourdough is. The more hungry the sourdough starter is, the less liquid you need to add. Sometimes I don't even add any liquid to it. It depends, again, how runny it is. So we're going to start by mixing it, and then we'll add the water just to kind of get a feel for how runny it is. I like it to be a little bit thicker than a pancake batter. Also how thick and how runny your sourdough starter is going to affect the recipe, so you might need to either to adjust the liquid amount for the pizza dough that we are making. I will show you the texture of the pizza dough that I'm making, and you can follow by texture, and you might need to adjust the amount of water that you're adding to your pizza dough. I like to mix using a silicone spatula. This way we can scrape the sides.
Can I?
And make sure that everything is well mixed. So I have here half a cup of water, and we're going to slowly add that.
There are pet sourdough starters.
So it looks good here with the thickness. You can see here the thickness of my sourdough starter. It's, like I said, a little bit thicker than a pancake batter, and that's how I like it. I find that it behaves better this way in breads and doughs and all that stuff. So we ended up adding about 1/4 cup of water. So the next thing to do would be to let your sourdough starter rest and let it feed on the new food that you gave it. And once you start seeing bubbles, it might take about an hour or 2 hours. Once that happens, then you can use it to make your pizza dough or whatever it is that you're making. But I did not think ahead. And we are going to use the sourdough starter right away. And it's just going to be more of a flat pizza dough, I suppose. But that's okay. Usually I like to let my pizza dough ferment after I mix it, but this time we're also going to just bake it right away. It adds a lot more flavor to it after you ferment it, and also it becomes a little fluffier. And if you want to do that, you can go ahead and do that too. Another thing about sourdough starters and sourdough doughs in general, I find that when they are in stainless steel, they tend to take a long time to rise, and sometimes they don't even rise when they are in stainless steel. I don't know, there must be something in there, like a chemical reaction maybe, or something that's stopping it from rising. So that's why I also don't use stainless steel utensils when I am mixing my sourdough or taking sourdough out of the container. First thing we're going to add is 2 tablespoons of golden flaxseed. And Gabriel, can you add that into the bowl?
I was supposed to do in the bowl.
2. Yeah. And what this does is it's an egg replacement, and it acts as a binder. I find that the flaxseed powder gives it a better texture than eggs. With the eggs, I find that it kind of becomes super mushy and and less crunchy. So I prefer to add flaxseed powder to my sourdough pizza bread, or my sourdough pizza.
Can I put this back?
No, take it out. And now we are going to add 3 tablespoons of water to activate the flaxseed powder. Okay.
Can I put it in?
You can put it in, I'll pour it for you, okay?
Okay.
1.
Wait, you could just do this.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Go ahead. No, full spoon, Mama, full spoon. Fill it all the way. There you go. Good job.
I thought you said 2.
No, 3. 3 tablespoons water.
Okay.
Okay, and what I do is I just swoosh it in like this,
Ooh.
and it gets mixed in. And now we are going to add our dry ingredients.
I like water.
We are going to add 2 1/4 cups of brown rice flour. Okay, can you do that, Gabriel?
What?
2 1/4 cups.
Okay.
Make sure to tap in the flour so that the whole cup is full. Okay? Tap it in first. Whoa, not on the floor, please. Okay, now scrape it. Good job. No. Oops. Today? Is it gonna happen?
Yes, I think so.
Uh-oh. There you go. That's good enough. That's good enough. Okay, now put it in there. Yeah. Okay, now whoa. All of it. Now another one. Okay, good job. And 1/4 cup. job. Yeah. Now we are going to add a teaspoon of brown rice. Sorry, a teaspoon of brown sugar, not brown rice. I like to add
Rice that's brown. Brown.
and pack it in there.
Mama, can I eat some of this? Wait, why are we putting sugar in pizza?
To add. It helps with the flavor and helps with activating the yeast. Not with your finger, not with your finger.
Thank you. I want to get it.
Not a big one. Hey. That's enough. No, that is way too much sugar. Get out of here. Hey, that is way too much. Gabriel. Just the ball. Let me help you. Let go. There you go.
Thank you.
We also need 2 teaspoons of salt.
Ow! I want to put that in.
Okay.
Why are we putting salt in pizza?
For flavor.
This is weird. You're making this something. You're making this like bread and cake.
I find that baked gluten-free goods, savory goods, need more salt than the wheat doughs. We also need 2 teaspoons xanthan gum. 2 teaspoons, Mama. That's good. At this point, you can add seasoning like oregano or basil or black pepper or whatever it is you want. I personally don't like to add the seasoning to the dough itself. I like to add it on the pizza. This way it allows me to have a dough to use in whatever kind of pizza that I want. And some pizzas are not good with oregano or some of the spices that I might put on others. Okay, so that's it for the dry ingredients, and now we are going to add our wet ingredients. And the first thing we want to add is our sourdough. We need 1 cup of sourdough starter.
This is my straw cap.
Can you please put that
Cap
back?
of the straw's kingdom. Cap of straw.
Yeah. Pour that in.
Okay. New sticking.
While we are doing this, I am preheating my oven at 450 Fahrenheit. Now you don't have to, you can let it ferment, but we are just kind of going quick just for the sake of the video and also because we are hungry. But I do like to let it ferment normally, and I find that it tastes better when I use the dough the next day than the first day. Even if I let it ferment for a few hours before I use it, it tastes better when I put it in the fridge and let it ferment overnight and use it the next day. Now if you have a young sourdough starter, I find that this recipe would be a great recipe for you to use if you just made your sourdough and it's active and you don't know what to make. This would be an awesome recipe for you because it doesn't take a lot of rising action in it, and a young sourdough starter does not behave as well as an older sourdough starter, and it's simply because the yeast amount in there is not as prolific as it would be in an older sourdough starter. And let's say it's like 7 days old and it just became active. This recipe would be great for you to use because it doesn't really have to rise because you're just trying to make a flat dough.
I'm putting this in the sink.
Okay, sounds. No, wait. We're gonna need it for.
but
We need it for water, Mama. We need it for water. Okay, and we also need 1 cup of water.
Cup of water. Can I pour it?
And 2 tablespoons. Okay.
Why do we want to eat it?
We also need 1 tablespoon of olive oil.
Ooh, I will do this one.
And now we are going to hook the bowl to our KitchenAid and let it do the work for us. We're going to be kneading this dough with a paddle attachment because it's going to be a thick dough and you cannot use a whisk for that, and you can't use a dough hook because it is not going to pick up itself like a wheat dough would. So we're going to knead it for 10 minutes, and the reason why I do that is because I find that it adds air bubbles in there and it helps with the rising action of the dough. It kind of gives it that help that it needs, because with gluten-free doughs, there's no such word as doughs, but we'll use it.
There is such word as doze.
So,
It means to sleep.
No, yeah, okay.
Or something.
That's a good point. With the gluten-free dough, I find that it doesn't have, because it doesn't have the gluten that gives it that elasticity, it cannot hold the air bubbles from, that are produced by the carbon dioxide that's produced. So that is why we will give it some help to give it those air bubbles and help it with the rising time. Even though we are not going to let this dough ferment, it's still going to help a little bit, especially because it's not going to be fermented. First, I let it mix a little bit before I start mixing it on high so that the flour doesn't go flying everywhere. Okay. I decided to not continue the mixing just because I don't want to wake up my baby. And it's okay, we can just work with it as it is, but it would have been a lot better if we continue the mixing. If you want your sourdough pizza dough to be less sour, you could add baking soda. Baking soda is also going to help with the rising, and because of the acids that are in the sourdough starter that the yeast produces, the baking soda would get activated and help it rise. And also it will make the dough sweeter. So if you find that your sourdough pizza dough is too sour for you, just add some baking soda. Now for this step, you can use a pizza pan. I have a cookie sheet right here. We use this just to let us know that this is a gluten-free dough, because we're not all gluten-free in our house. My husband and my daughter are both not gluten-free. They're not allergic to gluten. And so we are going to add a little bit of olive oil to the bottom of this pan. You could also use butter or vegetable oil.
Can I spread it with this?
Yeah, you're gonna spread it with that. Normally I would use butter, but this time I decided to add some olive oil. So go ahead, Gabriel, and spread it.
I'm painting a cookie pan with olive oil.
Mm-hmm. And that's how it looks like. There we go. It's pretty thick.
I love cooking so much. I like doing all the work. Hey.
Thank you. For this pan, this dough makes two pizza doughs. I haven't tried it in the 16-inch or 18. I think it's 18-inch pizza pan. I haven't tried it in that yet. I would imagine it's about the same size, just a rectangle instead. Maybe a tiny bit bigger, the rounded 18-inch one. So you might have a smaller pizza the next time. Okay, so we're just gonna put some dough over here. My baby's awake, I better hurry. I'm gonna spread it this time so that we have less oil on the pizza than last time.
I just squished too hard, that's all.
Yeah.
But I don't squish as hard. Please.
No, it's okay. This time I'll do it, okay? Because I gotta hurry so that...
Yeah, we should use a spatula.
Yeah, okay. So first, we're gonna use a spatula to spread it a little bit, and then we'll use the... doesn't wanna...
Yeah.
Just wants to
Sticks to
stick.
everything.
Uh-huh.
And
And
oil
the
at the top.
downside to this dough is that it doesn't... it cannot be rolled like my other pizza dough, but that's okay. Okay, I think what I'm going to do, because it's really hard spreading it with this spatula, I'm just going to oil my hands and spread it that way. And the oil adds a lot of good flavor to the dough and makes it a little crispy too. I put some oil in this bowl right here, and I'm going to use it to oil my hands. It's olive oil. I try not to use the tips of my finger because it tends to stick to them. And I just add as much oil as I need just to prevent it from sticking to my hands.
Green beans on pizza. I'm joking.
No, we don't want any green beans on the pizza.
I was joking.
That is just creepy.
I'm saying they stand on the pizza, and then when it's out, they stand on the pizza again. Then you'd have boot marks.
And you could make it as thick and as thin as you'd like. We like a thinner pizza, and this pizza dough is super pliable. It also has crunchy texture to it, and I really love it. It's just has this earthy flavor, and you could just smooth it out a little bit like so. So now that our pizza is spread, we are going to place it in the oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit. You can put it on the middle rack or center rack and bake it for 10 minutes. If you put it on the middle rack, it's going to be less browned around the edges. It's not really going to brown completely yet, just a little bit. It's going to give it a little bit of color around the edges. Alright, so I'm going to put it in the oven for 10 minutes and then we'll come back at you. So I just took it out of the oven and out it is hot. You can see the bubbles, you can see the browning on the edges and the spots that are sort of on the thin side. And normally you would let this thing cool down a little bit before you spread your toppings on it, but for the sake of the video and because I have a baby that's about to wake up in a few minutes, we're going to put the toppings on right now and bake it. So our favorite sauce to use is the Prego tomato or Prego, I call it Prego, might be Prego, I don't know. Tomato, basil, and garlic sauce, and I'm not associated with them or sponsored by them or anything, I'm just saying this is what we like. And
after you're done putting it there, if there's any leftovers, can I have it? Spread it flat, right?
yeah, so you use this part of the spoon so that it doesn't scrape the
I
sauce.
don't know what part, but I'm just doing that.
And try not to get to the edges so that we can have a little bit of crust around. We like a lot more sauce, so I'm going to add a little more. Don't burn your hand, Mama. Careful, the pan is hot.
I'm being careful.
Oh, that's way too much cheese over here. You do this side, I'll do the other side. Here.
I'm cleaning up the place.
Oh yeah, because we didn't let it ferment. Yeah, it won't taste exactly the same, but that's okay. It's still gonna taste good. Okay, now I like to add some seasoning, so we're just gonna sprinkle some salt. Not a lot, but just a little bit. I like salt on the pizza. I'm going to sprinkle some black pepper.
Can I
You want to do it? Okay. Not too much.
Oh,
Over there. Over there. Some garlic powder.
Can I?
Just not too much, alright? Now we're going to put this back in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes. It depends how cooked you like the topping and how crunchy you like the crust.
Why didn't you say so that Mama, you yourself, you should say so that I can. You use wrong grammar, and you told me not to use wrong grammar.
I love you, kid.
I'm back.
So we just took the pizza out of the oven and it was in there for 12 minutes. And now we are going to let it cool and then we're going to slice it and dig in. And this...
Show them the baby.
He's not having it. Hold on, no, Gabriel. I'll turn. Ooh, ooh. She just want to show her face. This right here is Serenity.
Cute little baby.
She's 2 months old. And she's the sweetest baby. Now we are going to cut it. I like to use my scissors. This way I'm not scraping the pen as bad, and it looks like I stuck it to the pen a little bit. That usually doesn't happen. That's alright.
I can't wait. I'm so hungry.
It's, for some reason, it got stuck to the pan. You know, when I use butter, it doesn't stick. I think I might have pressed it too hard too. That is the problem with this dough. This always,
You should use a silicone
I've made
mat.
this so many times, and this never happened to me.
You should
And
have
now
used the silicone
It
mat.
sticks to the silicone mat, Mama.
Really?
Yeah. It's always when I'm filming a video. Come on. Oh, seriously? Anyways, I'm just gonna cut a little piece and show you guys. I don't know why this happened to me.
That looks so good. I want some.
Okay, hold on.
And the
hold on
next
some.
slice will be mine.
Yes, the next slice will be yours.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm making a video and there it happens again. Something goes wrong when it never does. This is so frustrating.
Mama.
But please don't interrupt. But as you can see, you can hold it. It's still hot. And we cooked this for 12 minutes, so it is crispy. And if you'd like it less crispy, you can cook it for 10 minutes. And it's still a little hot because I just have to hurry up and finish with this video. I'm gonna try it without burning myself.
Is it good?
Can you guys hear the crunch?
Oh my goodness.
So good. I love this pizza dough. You can put whatever topping on it you like. And also the cooking time after you put the topping varies. It depends on which kind of topping you use. So you see?
Can I see the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, looks.
So if you guys like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to share it with your friends and family so that they can also learn how to cook delicious gluten-free food and also Mediterranean food, because I do make a lot of Mediterranean dishes. And if you are new here, hit the subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications of whenever I upload new videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again in the next episode.